Hey, this is Francisca, and this is my mid-crisis life, and I wanted to talk a little bit today about purging. So yesterday, I made a video and I said that there were some non-negotiables to get me out of this feeling that I've been feeling for the last couple of weeks, maybe months, I don't know, but definitely intensely over the last couple of weeks. That was kind of sparked by going through this process, and all those issues that I have around external validation and not feeling valuable, not feeling important unless somebody else is saying that I am. And then also I think compounded by turning 40 and having a feeling of loss and feeling bereft and feeling frustrated isn't even the word, but feeling a bit lost, feeling like I haven't done enough, but anything that I do moving forward isn't enough, and it's all just kind of a bit pathetic. So one of the things that I said that I was going to do is I said that I was going to meditate, even if I just did 10 minutes a day, because I know how powerful it can be to meditate. And I always talk about somatic work, and somatic work really just is about releasing emotions out of your body, which sounds a little bit, I don't know, abstract, I guess. But I made the decision to do it today, and that's why I want to talk about it a little bit. So, firstly, I think that there are meditations or people who have a certain energy, and it's really powerful, and it's really beneficial when you kind of step up and decide to do those sorts of things. But I also feel like a lot of that energy and a lot of the profound feelings that those kind of visceral experiences that you have or that you can have often just come down to you kind of being ready and being ready to experience it, being ready to let go. What I've noticed recently, and it's nothing new, it's pretty much the same every time I get into this rut, is that there's just this feeling of heaviness, right? And I think that I would liken it to what I would used to call depression, not really wanting to do anything, just feeling this overwhelming, heavy sadness, and the thought of talking to someone, the thought of making a phone call, the thought of getting my finances in order or writing that letter or going to that place just feels awful. And it feels a little bit like you're being buried alive, or like you're drowning in tar. It's kind of like that. And the problem is that the more that you avoid the feeling, or the more that you avoid the actions, I guess, and the more that you don't do the things that you want to do, things that either you need to do or things that you feel are going to help you in some way, the more that you avoid them, the more that, I'm trying to just put this somewhere because it's hurting my arm. The more that you don't do that, the more that it kind of compounds this awful feeling. So, for example, I'm like, right, I want to work out, I want to go and do yoga. Okay, cool. But the fact that I feel pain, a lot of pain inside, and then because of that I don't take action, and then I don't do it, it then compounds that feeling of okay, you are useless or worthless, or you're never going to change, or whatever fucking negative shit I'm saying to myself in that moment in time. And I think the more that you feel like that, the harder it is to get up. And then compound interest, that's just kind of it just starts snowballing until you have no energy to do anything, because all of your energy is being used up in, I don't know, I guess feeling shitty about the fact that you're not doing anything, thinking about the fact that you're not doing anything, talking to yourself negatively because you're not doing anything, because you're not changing, you're not making a step, you're not taking a leap, you're not doing anything, you know? What's my point? Well, my point is that's how I've been feeling for the last while. And the more that I haven't taken action and the more that I've sat in it, the more that I've felt like I can't get out of it. So the reason why the meditation was really helpful was because all of that heaviness, I'm just carrying it around and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it all the time. The minute that I wake up in the morning, I just feel this heaviness. Everything that I do during the day, there's a heaviness. How I'm interacting with other people, there's a heaviness. And the reason why I think the meditation is helpful, like I said yesterday, it's not to ground, it's not to be present. Like those things are helpful, but actually it's to have that release, to purge. Because your body wants to purge out of itself all of these chemicals. Because think about it, right? If you feel scared, for example, if something happens, if there's like a bear at your door or whatever, right? If you walk outside your house and there's a fucking bear there, you're immediately going to be scared, right? And that fear is a chemical that's being released out of your brain. So if you wake up every single day and there's a bear outside your door, over time, you're just going to be in a state of fear. But the thing is it's like, even if there's nothing there, even if there's like a toy dog outside, but you perceive it to be a bear, your brain is still gonna activate those same chemicals. So when we as people are talking to ourselves in a negative way, when we're doing things or not doing things, because even inaction is an action, it's still a choice, right? When we're doing that, we're releasing constant chemicals, right? And I couldn't name them, like probably, I don't know, whatever. We're releasing certain chemicals, right? And those chemicals are just in our body. They're in our body constantly. And I feel like that is what is the build-up. And I feel like it's a shame because even though I know that doing this stuff every day can keep you healthy and can keep your body clean and clear of this stuff so that you can have clarity in your head. But I don't, and I kind of let it build up like filling up a glass, right? Until it's like about to spill over. And then I can't do anything because I'm so full of all of these chemicals, all these negative feelings. So doing the meditation is really helpful to purge. And purging is such a weird thing, right? Because there's so many different ways that you can do it. And honestly, what I just did was super intense. So immediately as soon as I started the meditation, I was crying already because it needed to come out. But there's all sorts of other ways of purging, your body can shake. I yawn a lot. So like a lot of my energy comes out while I'm yawning. I yawn and I cry. And I shake. But there's other things, like you can sweat, you can scream, you can shout. Sometimes you need that, My body was going through a madness just then when I did that meditation. My arms were going everywhere. I was like thumping on my chest. I was ripping my chest open, like my hands were doing their own thing, like pulling stuff out of my heart because it's sadness and it's a lack of self-love that I'm feeling at the moment. And the truth is that having been through it, I was even like gagging at certain points, like, and spitting stuff up and all sorts. Like this shit wanted to come out, like it was puking itself out of my body. Like it was awful. But the truth is that I do feel lighter now, and the prospect of taking any action which half an hour ago made me want to literally die. Like, it's not so bad now. It's not so bad. And I think the problem is like, particularly here in the UK or in any kind of like fast-paced westernized country, the energy itself is so dense. Like, so the energy around you is like so dense. Like, there's everybody else's emotions, everybody else's fear, everybody else's anxiety and worry, and anger and all the rest of it. So you're already wading through that every single day. So to keep yourself secure, like to keep yourself whole and like singular, I guess, whilst in the midst of that is really, really difficult. And I think it's easy to forget because, you know, there's so many distractions, both positive and negative. Like, you can go down the pub and you can get absolutely fucked, or you can spend 3 hours doing a financial review of all of the bills that you have to pay because everything's so hard. So it's difficult to remember that actually just to sit and release the chemicals that are running around your body so that you don't become overwhelmed is difficult. But like I said yesterday, it's a practice, right? Everything's a practice. You have to practice. You have to choose to practice. And that's not easy. And I think a lot of people avoid doing this kind of work because it's so painful. It's so painful when you let it build up that sometimes it's easier just to avoid it and not look at it. But yeah, I think that's it. That's it for today. That's all I wanted to talk about. I forgot 3 things that I'm grateful for. 3 things that I'm really grateful for today. I'm grateful very much for the health of my children. Particularly my eldest son, who struggles a lot. I'm grateful that he's still able to have some quality of life. And can express his needs when needed. And to that end, I'm grateful that my kids come and talk to me about the things that are going on for them when they're struggling and when they need help. And I'm grateful that in those times, the majority of the time, I have the wisdom to be able to help them and they listen to me. That doesn't mean they do as I say, it just means that they listen when I talk. And some of it must go in. So those are 3 things I'm really, really grateful for today.